in the American Fire Service, we talk about culture and how shit is. That is your duty to give this fucking information to the next guy. If you're not, you're doing it all wrong. Quit. Please quit. Don't be a fireman anymore. Stop. If you think you can cultivate and hold this information to yourself because, hey, I want to get promoted over you, or I don't want him knowing more than I am. He's a young punk. What does he know? Go fuck yourself. No, dude, come on. I beg you, please call me. Please, I beg you. What do you want to know? I'll give you everything I can. The only thing I can't teach you and give you is my passion, my love of the job, and my experience.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Relentless Rejects Podcast, episode 19. I can't believe I'm saying it. We got to 19 pretty quickly. The only week we've taken off is the Firemanship Conference, but we're back. My guest today is Training Captain Mike Torres. He's a 27-year veteran of the fire service and has spent 18 of those years with Chicago Fire. He's all over the place as an instructor, heavily involved in Task Force 1 and Fools chapters. We're going to get into it all. But I'm not going to explain anything about him. I'm going to let him run with it. And let's bring in Captain Mike Torres. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, bro?
So as we go through, brother, how do you want me to address you? Because I know you got the nickname Bull, and I know it's not backdraft related.
It's not draft related. Hell no, man. I got that from a buddy of mine when I was an electrician. When I was 17 years old, Eddie Lickner, God rest his soul. I just found out he passed like 2 years ago, and he old time Italian fella, pinky ring and all. This dude was sitting there pulling this cable through this conduit, and I saw him just aching. I'm like, man, this dude's in pain. I go, hey Eddie, come get out of the hole, man. I'll pull that cable, dude. I got this, man. Get out of here, go. And he's like, okay. I start pulling it, and he goes, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna call you Mikey the Bull Torres. And I said, whatever, man. Since I was 17 years old, I had that nickname, and just had it. My email address just seemed easy. I didn't think nothing of it, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a lie. I did not know of backdraft and bull in there at all. I had no relationships to that stuff there. Until I saw it, I'm like, ugh, it's embarrassing.
Well, we're going to argue that backdraft stole it from you, brother, so you had it first.
There you go. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So what's your heritage? Are you Italian?
No, I'm Mexican. I'm 50-50. Yeah, my father's 100%. My grandparents, legal immigrants, Paula and Ruben Torres. They're from Mexico, the geographical center. I did not know a lot about my history. Shame on me. I definitely, I did some back checking. My grandparents were iconic in the city of Chicago. I mean, they have their own ward named after them in the Latin American Museum in Chicago, where I'm currently at today. I'm not in Colorado at the moment, so I'm in Chicago, just in the suburbs. My mother-in-law, we're helping her move out. And she's moving to Colorado with us. So,
oh, beautiful! Yeah, that's so amazing.
Kind of some weird stuff turning, bringing everybody over there, get everybody out of here. Escape.
Hey, Colorado's is a fun place to be, man. You know,
it is. It's real nice.
There's pros and cons everywhere you go, but you know, there's a lot of people still flocking to Colorado. It's funny because when you hopped on the video and it looked super green behind you, I thought you were in Colorado.
Oh no,
there's no green in Chicago. What are you talking about?
It's just a concrete jungle, man. No, I'm in the suburbs. I mean, it's still like this in Chicago, but I'm in Country Club Hills. Nice little quiet little area. I like it. It's nice.
Bro, I'm not mad at you, man. You got the stogie with the rocking chair going on right now.
I wish I was I always picture myself to be in the South one day. I always want to be down there. I don't mind the mosquitoes. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of humidity either, but I can get used to this in the shade. This ain't bad. Yeah,
not a worry in the South, the first thing I thought about was mosquitoes and humidity. As soon as you said the South.
I don't miss that here. They got all that shit here. I don't have any of that stuff back in Colorado.
Yeah, man. Blessed out there with the lack of humidity. And for some reason, the mosquitoes aren't as big and not as vicious.
Yeah.
I tell you, when I was stationed in Pensacola, I was in the Navy, right? We do some drinking in the Navy. And I got drunk and passed out on my tailgate one night. And it was a meal to be had, bro. I don't know how many mosquito bites I had, but I passed out for like 4 hours. It was brutal. So the South, you got to plan for that. Screened patios for sure.
Screened patios. It's true.
Yeah, brother. Well, hey, look, I mentioned that you've had 27 years in the fire service, but I've heard you on other podcasts talk about how you initially wanted to be a cop. It's not uncommon, but I want to hear it from you. Like, what's that journey look like?
So I had nothing. Being a fireman was not on the map. Not on the map. It's not because I didn't want to. I didn't see a little red fire truck and I threw on my helmet. I want to be a fireman. None of that shit happened. I didn't have one of those. What I wanted to do was get a mag light flashlight, the old school big ones, the metal ones, and a pistol, put on a bulletproof vest, and I wanted to be a cop like my father. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be exactly like my father. I could not think of a more honorable lifestyle than being a police officer. My grandfather was a correction officer. I have other family members. My brother's a cop, but we'll get into him in a second. I can tell you where it hit me the most, but where it was significant enough that I was like, wow, this is badass. Every Saturday, my dad was part of a gang task unit, attack unit. And every Saturday morning, not only do I love my Saturday morning cartoons back in the day, not like how they run all day long, cartoons every day, every channel, everywhere you look, only Saturday mornings. But Saturday mornings, I can wake up to hearing laughing, giggling. Hey, fuck you. You remember that fucking asshole? And I'm like, what is going on? My ma's in her robe cooking 15 dudes breakfast in the morning, chorizo and eggs, pancakes, French toast, tamale. I mean, my mom's going to town and she's flipping stuff. She's cooking in her robe. These guys got their bulletproof vests on the back of their chairs. Their pistols are on the seats. 10 unmarked cars in front of my house. And they're all talking, coming down. Mijo, Michael, come here. Jim, hey, Jimmy, tell him what we did to that guy last night, man. He bad dude. We beat this shit. And I'm like, man, this is awesome, man. You guys do this all the time. This is great. At that moment, I knew when my dad was awesome, what he did. And being a police officer was awesome. I remember going to award banquets. My dad got tons of unit citations. Every time somebody talks to you, this man right here is the real police right here. This is a cop right here, man. This guy knows what's going on. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. That's something else. And every time they said that, I was like, wow, I want to be just like them. So I wanted to do that. And I think right around when I was old enough to make that decision, my dad's like, if you become a police officer, Michael, I will disown you. And I'm like, oh, disown me? Like, what the fuck? I thought he was joking, but he was serious. This is not what you want to do. It wasn't how he came up in the police force, right? It wasn't the old school way of police. Shit, look at it now. It's awful. And my dad got out right before that. I think he's 10 years retired now, I think. Yeah, 10 years retired. He spent 32 years on CPD and a couple of years as a Cook County Sheriff. So, I mean, he had a long career in law enforcement. My brother, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, son of a bitch goes, I'm going to be a cop. Fucking, he's a cop. I'm like, dude, you can't. How the fuck do you let him do it? I can't do it, man. But it's okay. I definitely chose the right career path. It was a cop, a Chicago cop that worked with my dad who was on the SWAT team in CPD, excuse me. I was an electrician at a young age of 17 years old and driving from a suburb in Chicago. This guy's named Pat McGinnis. He has his feet are out on my fucking window. We're doing like 60 down the expressway. And he goes, hey, Mike, hey, Bull, you should be a fireman. I'm like, what, Pat? Get out of here. And he sat there. He's like, I'm just saying, it'd be pretty cool. I said, yeah, whatever, Pat. And I got home and I got to thinking, I'm like, man, what does it take to be a fireman? Like, what is it? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I went to EMT school. I went and I floated around a few departments. Everyone said, you got to be, an EMT and you already have to have your fire cert just to be here. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. These are career positions, professional union departments. I'm like, oh, all right. One guy said, hey, why don't you go to hometown? Well, where the fuck is hometown? I had to Google that shit, GTS that stuff. I Googled it. I found it. And I'm like, shit, it's been here the whole time. It's so small. It's not even a full square mile. It has, it's surrounded by Chicago, Evergreen Park, Burbank, and Oak Lawn. Super small, condensed department. At the time, all volunteer. And I knock on the door. This guy, Brian Delarousse, answered the door, directed me to the deputy chief at the time, Mike Casaba, and said, hey, this kid wants to be a fireman. Mike's like, you start tomorrow. I go, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. He said, you got your EMT? I'm like, yeah, I just got it actually. I actually almost shredded that license up because I saw it in the mail. It said Department of Health. I'm like, oh, that sounds bad. I better rip that up and throw it away. And my mom's like, Michael, don't rip it up. Always open your mail first. I go, all right, cool. I opened it up and it said, congratulations, you're, an EMT. I'm like, oh, that sounds really important. Gave him my license and the career started early. I think it was like 99-ish, a little before
99.
that. Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit before that, just a touch, because I started to get involved when I did the EMT stuff, kind of already trying to figure out how to become a fireman. So I was always asking questions, visiting firehouses. Surprisingly, I didn't visit one Chicago firehouse. Not one. I had no interest. I didn't know anything about it. I knew my friend Donnie, his dad was a Chicago fireman. He worked at some shit-ass places. Don Cato was his name. And he passed away 7 years ago, I think. And Mr. Cato was, yeah, being a fireman's cool. I'm like, all right. Well, I didn't think of it at the time. But I did some research later on, and I spoke to Mr. Cato. And fast forward, when I finally got in the academy, that's when I started doing some research. I was like, maybe I should start looking into what I'm doing here, because I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. So, yeah, that's kind of how that happened. I mean, I turned down being a cop. My brother's still a cop to today. I'm supposed to see him later on today. His lazy ass is supposed to come here, but he's being all the kids everybody's at the beach, and he hates the beach as much as I hate the beach. I hate the beach. Lake Michigan just makes, an ocean, different, but still, I don't like oceans because they got sharks. I'm a wuss, man. I'm a big baby, dude. You ask all my friends, man. I'm a huge baby. I don't fly, and I hate oceans and beaches. Fuck that. I'm the John Madden of the fire service. I drive everywhere, man, if I got to teach.
Hell yeah. No, I think it's funny, bro, that the Department of Health mail comes in and you're like, it's junk mail. Or did you think it was like a bill?
I thought it was a bill. I'm like, man, I wasn't sick, so I don't know. I was like, man, because like I said, I was already an electrician for at least, I got in like right when I turned 17. You're not supposed to, actually. My mom was on the couch. My mom babysat. She babysat kids for almost her whole life. And she shook me up. This guy named Pat Vaughn, his sister, Carrie, I think her name was. I can't remember, but she's the one that hooked us up. My mom, man, believe it or not, I think my mom was a wise guy back in the day, dude. I think she was mob tied. I don't know. Something's up with her. She's connected. God rest her soul and shit. But man, she always knew somebody. She's like, Michael, go down here and fill out this card. I'm like, Mom, I don't got time for this shit. I'm sleeping. And she's like, Michael, go. So I truck my ass down 600 West Washington where the old Union Hall used to be. Go up to I forgot what floor. I think it was like the third floor. Window. Black lady's behind the window, this glass window. I'm like, shit, this is not going to be good. She don't look happy at all. And I go, ma'am, I'm here for this. I'm told to give you this, this, and this. And she's like, baby, you ain't 18. You a baby. I go, ma'am, listen, no disrespect. My ma sent me down here. And if I don't get whatever I'm supposed to do, my ma is going to beat my ass. You have no idea. I do not want to get beat today. And she goes, you know what, baby? She looks around. She does one of these. And she gave me my soft card. Punch that shit. She's like, here you go. Go on your way. And she's like, just be quiet. Just shh, be quiet. You close enough. You look old. That's what she told me. She said, you look old. I go, damn. I don't know if that's good or bad. So I, on my way, like I said, I became that electrician, and man, my eyes were open to the world, man. Being 17, working in an industry, a trade, a union job, like all these guys on construction sites, man, my eyes were wide open. I was taking the train. Things I've never done before. And I learned the city that way. And eventually, like I always saw firehouses, I was always curious. But then when I eventually took that leap and I took the test in 06, 05, and I got they give you random numbers. They get an envelope. All my buddies from hometown were like, dude, I got my letter in the mail. What's your fucking random number? It wasn't random at all. It was not random. They used your last two numbers, your social security. That's how they directed you. Mm-hmm. And I was messing with those guys. I go, back in 95, they did 1, 2, 3, the chronological order. I go, $100, they do it opposite. They do 09s. And they're like, because mine's 09. And I'm like, shit. I look, my buddy Alex Griff, a good friend of mine, He's on the Hazel Crest. He's not too far from here, actually. He's like, Mike, open your letter. I go, all right, cool. I opened this son of a bitch up and it said 138. That was my random number out of 24,000 something. I forgot. I was like, oh shit. And I was too embarrassed to tell him. Like, I didn't want to make him feel bad because he had like 10,000 something. I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I can't. It looks like I think I'm in like the 1,000 something. Yeah, that doesn't look good. He's like, well, that's still really good though, man. 1,000 something. I was like, oh shit, I don't know how I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
But, you know, we sped it up and man, just the testing process for that was fucking hilarious, dude. Funniest thing I've ever met in my life, dude. Talk about corruption and how pathetic the city is with how they hire people. Man, it was glaringly obvious that they're looking for the certain individual. And it was pretty sad. We can always talk about that another day.
Well, it's also not what you know, it's who you know, right? Like, you know, a few people, shake a few hands.
Shake a few hands, get some babies. Yeah. Unfortunately, at that time, I didn't know anybody, so it was very difficult. That was always the saying when I got, they read off your picks for the, you know, for your spots when you're done with the academy. They read them out loud and they're like, dude, John Scheinflu. Love that, man. He comes up and he looks at me and goes, hey, Mike, you got Tower 34. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, where the fuck is that at? Dude, no clue. I only knew of like six houses. That's the only ones I ever wanted to go to. I didn't know anything about Tower 34. And he goes, dude, that place is badass, dude. Badass. I'm like a lot of fire? And he goes, loads. I said, yeah, okay. Sure as shit, when they read it off, all the guys are like, what the fuck? Who does he know? Shit. And I'm like, dude, fuck if I know, dude. Our class was the first class in a long time that everybody in that class, all my guys, got awesome spots. Like literally. There was 4 guys that went to 72's house, which is Tower 34. That's the truck that's in there. 4 guys went there out of my academy alone. Then you had guys going to some great spots. After that, it was awful. These guys were going to shit houses. I taught a few academies and I'm like, ugh. Like 3 people got good houses. I'm like, that's awful. Now I think, was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 4 years ago. Shit. 4 years ago, those guys got some good picks. The first class I ever taught, those guys got some good picks. So,
man,
like I said, a little brief synopsis. I know we went off the rail on that one a little bit, but yeah, that's it.
It seems like you just kind of got the luck of the draw a few times here and there, right? Just to get hired, just to get out of the academy at a nice firehouse, busy firehouse, anyways. Yeah. So it's funny. So I got to ask you, because you have a very similar story as mine, right? Like I got into the fire service. I wasn't wearing a little kid's bunker coat and dressing up as a fireman for Halloween and shit. I got out of the military and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? I'll go be a firefighter because it's paramilitary, right? And I just ended up in there. And my why has evolved ever since, just being a part of it and then being exposed to a few things here and there. Is that what happened to you? Because you seem very passionate about the fire service and the traditions that come along with it. Or was it your environment?
It was my mom.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my mom said to me, she goes, Michael, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You want to sew clothes, you want to be a hairstylist, you want to be an electrician, whatever you want it to be, Michael. Whatever you're going to be, just be really good at it. Doesn't matter. Just be really good at it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm proud of you no matter what. And you know, I think about these things that, I sometimes forget too, especially a lot of things my mother told me. And she was the one that said, whatever you're going to do, just be really good at it. And I surrounded myself with people that were by far the best mentors that I've been lucky to have, still have. Now I call them friends, which is super weird that I'm even considered to be on their same wavelength. And they return that comment of, we're honored to be with you on your wavelength. And I'm like, slow down. I remember me asking you for your help. So, but in return, it seems to be, I think I was talking to Pip about this, but like, we look at ourselves and how people look at us. Now, I looked at people when I go to FDIC and I go into all these classes to take classes. And I still go to classes to take. I know it seems really strange, but it's true. I like to get educated. I like to see what else is out there. I like to see different conferences. Sometimes not even fire related. I like to go see what, a leadership conference is and what business is talking about in leadership and management and how does that work, and trying to always continuously self-improve. And I had mentors that said, Mike, Anthony Volpe, my first mentor, God rest his soul too. He's taken way too soon for me. He said, you have to learn the job. So go places where you're going to learn it. So I went to fire departments that sucked. Didn't pay a lot. There was no benefits. Some are volunteer, but they burned. They burn. I mean, where else can you learn your craft, to hone it, to go every other day you're going to a fire, like, oh, cool, this is another one. And, oh, I did that messed up. Well, you know what? I'm going to try that. Before the age of helmet cams and GoPros and shit, you had, right here. Here's my GoPro. It's fucking right here. I've been using this thing. Doesn't have to get recharged or nothing like that. It was my GoPro that was right here. And my GoPro was always on and always working. And I sat there and I said, hey, man, I learned that. Oh, Tony, remember that? That fucked up. And Hope he always made it a point when I fucked up. He always gave you that disappointed father look, like, really? Did you do that? I'm like, fuck that. Like, I was disappointed, like, oh, I disappointed fucking Tony again. And when you look at guys like that, or another great mentor was John Hojak. He was the chief of hometown for a good long stint there. He took my perspective and learning this job a whole nother level. Like, he took the leadership portion of it and how words matter and how you hold and carry yourself. And people are watching you. They're looking at you and going, man, I want to do it just like that guy. I'm humbled when people say things like, oh, Mikey Torres, look at him. And, oh, I want to be like you. I want to do this. I'm super humble by that. But I'm also like very like, I just don't talk about me. It's not about me. It's about what I can give you and whatever I can. Tony said, whatever it is, man, dude, pass that shit on, dude. It's fucking free information. It doesn't matter if it's a PowerPoint. Well, it wasn't PowerPoints back then. It was slideshows and shit like that. Like, you draw it on a fucking overhead projector. Whatever you had. He's like, Mike, Tony's like, give it to him. Whatever you got. If it's a tool, give it to him. You always pass that information on. It's not yours. It never was. Never his or anyone else prior to him. It was information that needs to be passed on. And that's the problem, is that this fire service, I see their instructors, I get it. They're turning it into a franchise, a business. Like, I got to make money and I teach this is the only thing I teach. It's like, shit, bro. Like, people have been doing this a lot longer than you have, even before you. And I know you're a made man, you're a big name, and you're a badass. But, dude, where'd your passion go, man? Where'd the love of the job go? Is it just about the love of the dollar now? I mean, I could never go that route. So, I mean, I get all of that. Started from my mother to say, hey, Michael, just be the best at whatever you're going to do. And then I started finding what we call mentors, because there's a difference between a mentor and a person you just look up to. Two different things. The key thing in between that is relationship. It's that relationship that you have with that individual. And that relationship I gathered at hometown with Tony Volpe. Anthony Volpe was, I mean, that place was just, we were so fucking tight there, dude. Like, dude. We were tight. We did everything together. The culture of the fire service in the Midwest, East Coast, and I'm not saying it, the West Coast doesn't have it. I'm not saying that. We'll get to that later, but it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And how I was brought up in the fire service, I didn't want to spoil and destroy the names and the iconic fire service that these guys that before me have built up. I'm like, man, I want to keep living their dream, Like, yeah, I want to ride that coattails of that part. I don't want to ride your career coattails, but I want to ride your coattails of what you want this fire service to still stay like, that camaraderie, the thing that you in the service brought and said, man, whatever this is, I want to keep doing it. This is badass. I like this. And when you realize you find a department, because I've been in departments where I'm like, this isn't what Tony told me. This is not, this is weird. I don't like this. This isn't normal. This is not what I know to be normal. Maybe that's a little better way to say it. And I think I found those. I started with my mother. I got some damn good mentors. I gained some awesome friends, and I educated myself to see what else is out there to say, hey, look, what's good? What's going to work for me? Because it doesn't work for everybody else. A lot of these things don't work, but I'm very proud to say that the name that I worked up to, where I'm currently right now, as I stand right here on earth, I think I did an okay job. I think my mom would be pretty proud of me. I think Tony would be pretty proud of me of what I've accomplished. I mean, the first time I taught at FDIC, they give you like a challenge coin. I'm not home. Shit. I'm usually in my office at the firehouse, and I can reach up and grab it. You get a number on it. Dude, fucking scariest fucking thing in the world. First time teaching at FDIC. We always talked about it at hometown. Like, man, I can't wait to one day, dude, you're going to be teaching at this thing they call FDIC. This is a big thing to us. Like, this is fucking huge. We always want to just hang out with the bros and shit. But to teach? Are you fucking kidding me? I am sitting next to people. I'm like, dude, is that Mike Champo? Oh my God, fucking, that's Sammy Hiddle. That's fucking Sammy Hiddle. Don't look at him. Don't look directly at him. Please don't look at him. These are now people I call friends. Like I call Sammy. Sam, what's up, bro? And just shoot the shit. You're like, these are, I call friends, which I never thought would happen. Well, you get this coin, excuse me. And I look at this coin. It says the number 468. That is the number of the hometown engine, 468. That is the rig number. I'm like, dude, I almost cried as a grown ass man. I'm sitting there fucking like, dude, Isaac Frazier, my buddy who brought me on to teach with him. He goes, dude, are you fucking crying, Mike? I'm like, I'm having a fucking moment, Isaac. Leave me alone, bro. You know, I'm like, holy cow, I'm here. Like that was, I don't know, man. I'm not like a super fanatic with religion, but I'm a religious man. I'm a man of faith, right? Because I don't believe in luck. I believe in faith. And somebody's checking me out, man. Somebody out there is like, here you go. And every single time something like this iconic happens to me, I'm like, dude, this is not a fucking coincidence. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I am being blessed. Somebody thinks that I have something good to say. I don't think it is. Somebody thinks I got something to say, and they're like, man, you got to tell them. So I'm just going to keep on carrying on, brother. That's what I'm doing. It's all thanks to my mom.
Yeah, I love that. I love to see like how your passion just took off because of is it just love and respect for your mom? Like you cannot let her down when she tells you to do that. Just be the best, or
yeah. I think disappointment first. It would be with her. The disappointment in her. I mean, shit. I think I said the word fuck maybe 12 times right now if I can count. I use that like a punctuation. It's just because it's passion. But my ma hated the fact that I swore. But when she saw me teach and she saw me in my environment, she's like, my son's doing what my son does, you know? And I was like, cool, ma, thanks. You know, to see my dad came and saw me teach a class too. And my wife, all of them, when they see me in my setting, my Christmas, they're like, all right, he's doing his thing. And you see people look at me as my family watches them, like, holy shit, like, whatever he's saying, they're digging, and I'm gonna let him go. Like, you know, I can always see my dad because my dad's ignorant as fuck. He's gross. He's like, I made that. That's mine. You know, like, I see my dad saying shit like ignorant as shit like that, but, you know, I could see I really wish my mom was alive today to have her sit there and see me like, hey, mom, I'm killing it, man. You know, like, I'm killing it right now. And not that I like to brag about that shit. I truly hate talking about myself. I was doing some like SIPSI certifications and all this accreditation shit. And they tell you have to talk about yourself. I fucking hate that. I hate saying what I've done, but it's part of the journey. It's part of the app. You have to do it. But, you know, I want to say, hey, Ma, am I doing it? Am I accomplishing your goal? Have I done everything you wanted me to do? Am I accomplishing what I like to say now is your mission for me? Am I doing it, Ma? You know, and I like to think I'm doing all right. I'm probably not on some people's wavelengths. I mean, shit, you got a fucking podcast, bro. I don't got a podcast. Shit. Like, shit, man. There's things I don't think I'll ever do just because I don't think I'm there yet. So I think I'm doing okay though. But yeah, I don't want to let my mom down no matter what. Even if she's not here, I don't want to let her down.
Yeah, man. Well, brother, first off, the only reason why I have the podcast is so I can get guys like you on and pick your fucking brain. Like, just get better myself. But dude, secondly, I think everything you're talking about, it's super deep, man. I think that's lacking in the fire service now is people's why and purpose and their passion. I mean, I don't have to explain this to anybody that's listening. They can feel the passion that's coming from you. And I know when I first got into the fire service, I didn't have the passion. You know, a lot of people in the fire service, they get on for the benefits and the schedule and the pay and all this other shit, which is, you know, perfectly fine for people that actually, if they show up and do the job, that's cool. But there's people that want to contribute more. But man, and I gotta tell everybody else, man, the first time I met you, we already talked a little bit about it, but I came down to your department. I'm up near Denver. You're down near the Springs. And I saw you just walking around with like your lightweight pants, suspenders around your waist, and this fucking swagger about you. You hadn't even said a word yet. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, please don't tell me this guy is teaching, bro. Like, no offense, man, but that was my initial reaction.
It's all good. Yeah.
But then, like,
it's all right.
you brought it, and I'm your wife and your mom and your dad have seen it. Like when you get into that instructor mode, when you're in your element or your Christmas, like you said, bro. Like, I've never seen it from anybody else. I've seen a lot of passionate, good speakers and instructors out there. But I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's a little bit of Chicago swagger and just your passion, but it's a great combination, man. It got to the point, bro. I signed up for the 719 Fools that day just because it was a Fools training. And then I was like, I was like about to jump on a fucking lateral firefighter transfer to your department just so I can work with you and get better myself, bro. And you know, that was around the same time my baby girl was born 2 months early, ended up in the NICU, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, it's not a good time. But
not a good time, bro. Yeah, we talked about that shit. I was like, good move. Stay where you need to be. Yeah. No,
and then lastly, man, lastly, you touched on one thing about mentorship. I think relationship is big, but I heard it from somebody that said, how many, like they were talking to a crowd and they're like, how many people have a mentor? And everybody raised their hand, right? And they're like, how many of your mentors know that they're your mentor? And like half the room, their hands drop, right? Because it's that thing of like, you call them a mentor, but I think true mentorship and being a true mentor-mentee relationship is those people understand that they're your guide, your shepherd, and helping develop you. I didn't know that for the longest time. I didn't exercise that of having a true mentor because I look up to you, you know, Mike Torres, captain, training captain, all this stuff, Chicago Fire. I look up to you, but you're right. I don't have you as a mentor per se, but I think that's definitely the big difference, man. And I'm jealous of the mentors that you have mentioned already in this podcast.
There's again, not a name dropper. I just use people as examples. There are many people in my journey that I have, you know, names that people don't know outside of the fire service. When Ray Hoff was alive, I was honored to take a class with him. I mean, this man was the officer of Tower 10, the only tower, the best tower in the city of Chicago. They went to the Paxton Hotel fire. Like, I got to pick this man's brain. And then I had to work next to the commissioner of the fire department, Bob Hoff. Like, I get to call him a friend. I get to call him someone I can talk to. The man, I spoke to him on the phone multiple times. Like, hey, boss, can you write me a recommendation? Yeah, no problem, Mike. I'll have it I'll email it to you in a little bit. Like who can say stuff like that? That I don't even know if I could say earned that friendship, right? I don't know. I think it was, I know our bond is a little different, and it was literally one of those bonds that was met in a very untimely, very, very bad event. The line of duty death of my friend Corey Acom. I think that was where our bond became something special because I had a lot of questions and a lot of things that didn't ring true and just didn't make sense. And ever since then, things evolved. You know, it's so crazy that someone like that, him, Ray Orozco Jr., not his father, would, you know, you see him and I get starstruck. You see these people and you're starstruck. You're like, oh my God, is that, I'm in Home Depot. I see Ray Orozco. I'm like, dude, is that fucking the commissioner? Like, what the fuck is going, dude? And then for him to go, Mike, how are you? Dude, I don't call this man. I don't know this dude. Like, I know him because I fucking know who this man is, you know, but like, you know my name? Like, dude, that is staggering. So weird. Eddie Enright is another guy, Chief Enright, double E. He can remember people's names, the history, where they came from, how things were developed. Dude, the guy is like, I think, what is it? Mind like an elephant? Is that what they say? The children's elephant has a great memory. He is that man. And, like Hoff one time said, hey, Mike, how's the twins? How's Yvette? I'm like, dude, how does he know my wife's name? Like, what is going on? Like, this is fucked up, you know? But stuff like that is like, whoa, it sends chills down my spine. Like, yeah, the fire service is real, man. That's the fire service I know. That's the, you know, it doesn't have to be about, I think that's people lacking in the fire service. Everyone's on like this kick right now, this leadership and all these sayings, these one-liners. I think it's the new generation taking it to that extreme level, be aggressive. Like, dude, people got this cool ass shit going on right now. I think it's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. I think what we're missing is that personal connection, because I learned what the chief of the department currently asked me. He said this to me. He goes, Mike, what would you more prefer, a team or family? And, you know, a couple of guys are like, well, both. I want both. Like, I want a good winning team and a good family. I undoubtedly said family. That's fine. Dude, I will build a good team. Like, I will have a good team, but there's nothing like having the family, the love. Dude, I'm telling you, man, the fire service ain't shit without love, dude. I don't give a fuck. Loyalty. You could tell me whatever, Mike. You got to get out there and train. I'm like, go fucking train your ass off. That's fine. I train my ass off. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's that love and that loyalty, that respect you have for one another that takes that extra mile. I mean, I really want anyone to go look in their firehouse and go, if I were trapped right now, what would that guy do? Would he try to get himself out and be like, bro, I'll try a few minutes and I'm going to get the fuck out of here? Or are they going to look you in the eye? That's it, man. What do you want to talk about? This is it. Now, I can tell you right now, guys at Black Forest right now, if that were me, the one that's trapped and can't get out, they'd be like, what do you want to talk about? That's it. They're doing it. And I would do that for anybody. I would do that for anyone I serve with. I don't give a fuck. Even if I don't like you, I'm going to do it. Like, whatever. Even if you're not in the same department, I'm going to do it. But it's that bond that I think the fire service now is lacking. You see these guys going, well, I'm going to go to XYZ department because I make an extra $1,000, or I get an extra day off, or, you know, I don't have to ride the ambulance anymore. I'm going to go do this. It's like, look, man, dude, I don't give a fuck if I'm in the ambo or not, or whatever I'm doing. They don't say this is the greatest job in the world for no reason. They do. And somehow in the middle of politics and life and the change of departments, they lost their own way. And this is why we're where we're at. This is why people fucking hate sometimes being a fireman. I tell guys this to this day. When you stop calling it the firehouse and you call it work, like, hey babe, I'm going to go to work. Fucking quit, dude. Do something else. You should not be like, I have work tomorrow. Work is something you just have to do to make money, pay bills. Going to the firehouse is, man, it's going to be a good time. My wife told me, she's like, where are you going? I woke up, and this is at CFD, and I got to go to work. And she's like, you got to work at the electrical gig today? No, I'm going to the firehouse. It's like, hey, babe, you called it work. Fuck. I was like, oh my God, I called it work. I did. I never called it work. I always called it the firehouse. If I'm going to work, I'm going to go to work. I got to go be an electrician. I got to pull some cables, be an idiot, be a foreman and shit, and boss people around, wear a cool hard hat. And it was that I called it work. And that's when I started looking at, man, the fire service ain't what I thought it used to be. Things changed. And I was like, you know what? I need to change. I need to get back to my grassroots, what people taught me this fire service is supposed to be like. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to make that change, and I'm in Colorado. You know, there was a couple other places I was looking at, like Texas. I have a heart for Texas, man. Texas is nice. I love all my guys there. I got many friends there. Someone I always talk to constantly is Chief Thompson, Scott Thompson of the Colony. He's just one of many. Well, Mike Heaney in Austin, Nick in Austin. There are endless names. Jeffries, Boatwright from Georgetown. Like, the list goes on forever. But I was looking there first. I had a job lined up 3 years ago at a department. I thought everything was good, and Texas was the nicest place to tell me I'm a piece of shit. Dude, I went to go sign up with they have a OSFM, which Colorado does not, Office of State Fire Marshal Office. They have something called the Texas State Fire Commission, TCFB. They are no joke. They take shit seriously. There is no volunteering like Colorado. Like, no, dude, if you don't have these things, you ain't nothing. I had this guy tell me, he goes, Mark, you ain't got pro board, you ain't got IFSEC, you ain't a fireman. I said, I'm sorry, what? He's like, Mike, you gotta, if you had IFSEC pro board, you'd be a real fireman. I quote, that's what he told me. I said, okay. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. I appreciate everything you told me, and I'll go fuck myself. Thank you. And that was the end of that. Like, I thought my dream right there was over in Texas. You know, maybe one day I'll revisit that whole spectacle, maybe on a different rank. I know chief and above, you don't have to worry about shit like that, but you never know. Maybe one day in my dreams to hit that pinnacle definitely would be iconic. That's my goal, is one day just to have that title. It's pretty cool. Just if it was for like a fucking 2 minutes, that's pretty cool. I'll take it.
Yeah. Brother, I definitely want to talk about your journey from going Chicago to Colorado, because that's a big move. But before we jump out of the culture conversation, man, I think you hit the nail on the head talking about firehouse and work, or more specifically, I've heard people say fire station versus the firehouse, which now you're treating it more like a business and an organization, which once again takes the family component out of it. And I argue this like till I'm like out of breath, until I'm blue in the face at work all the time, and said, it is different in a firehouse because we are supposed to come here and intimately know one another. Like, I need to know about your family. I need to know about your kids. You need to know about mine, because when I show up to work, I'm not just a badge number, bro. Like, if I am in trouble, I need you to know that my family is expecting me to come home, and I need you to want to come get me out of that basement. I need you to have my back when someone pulls a knife on me on an EMS call or something like that, right? Like, when we lose that love, like you said, and that family aspect and culture inside the fire service, we just become numbers on a board. And that's, we do too much dangerous shit to look at each other like that. And once again, like, the reason why this is the greatest job in the world is because of the culture and the family aspect. And we need to fight for that shit every single day, bro.
I can't agree with you 100%.
Yeah. No, but okay. So when you talked about, the culture changed a little bit through your career, or did you change?
The career, the firehouse changed, the fire service changed. And I saw this, this tidal wave. Like, when I came to Colorado, in the tour, one of the days with the chief, and the chief's walking around, and I'm looking, I got this face. I'm looking just like this. And he goes, "Yeah, what are you doing?" I go, "Where's the table in the bay with the chairs or the couches on wheels? Where's that week old cigar on the dry erase board that still like has ashes and shit? Like, because I was gonna come back and smoke it tomorrow, like, or whatever, but it's still gonna sit there. Nobody's gonna touch it. Or that coffee mug with like 5-day-old coffee with that nasty ring. It's just disgusting. Where is it? Like, I was gonna warm it up. Like, where is this? Where's the station pride? Where's that culture? Where is it?" And he explained it to me in Black Forest, being young, blah 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 blah. I got it, but it was a resistance of not having that, and I didn't see that in a lot of houses that I visited there. I went to a few departments cruising around. I didn't see any of that stuff. That stuff didn't resonate, didn't pop out of me. It was a business, Class B's tucked in, looking sharp. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love presenting yourself phenomenal. Like, that's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking that away. I think it's awesome. I wouldn't mind wearing that all the time, but there are there are times to chill out, but I started to see that definitely when I came to Colorado, how that was missing, right? I didn't see any of that. And that kind of disappeared, and it was, kind of null and void there. So, I think it was just that. I think the firehouses became more political. The times, social things have changed, politics. And I was like, man, I don't want to be part of any of this shit. Like, what happened to what happened to the times, back in the day? What happened to that stuff? And I started seeing that, and I'm like, well, I've gotten this opportunity somewhere else, and they're going to allow me to continue this opportunity and let me do what I want. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. I think that culture change, I saw it. It wasn't in me. I had to adapt to certain things. There are certain things I couldn't do or couldn't say or couldn't act. And again, I think, how do I say this? When I started to get more mainstream, people were like, "Oh, hey, Mike, can you teach with us?" and this and that. I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever, dude. I like ground ladders. Like, sure, let's teach the shit out of it." Like, there wasn't many people just doing ground ladders, right? There wasn't, I didn't hear of many. OJ was the only one that came up a little later on, but I fucking love ground ladders, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. And at the time when I thought about it, I'm like, I just want to do ground ladders, truck work. Like, all the other stuff's cool. People are doing classes like that. And you know what happened? People started to go, they sat me down, And they had these conversations of like, hey, Mike, you know, you gotta kind of have to like not say that, and you gotta have to change. And then I talked to a couple of my boys in Oath Keepers, Chris Gilpin, Adam, Dressler, a bunch of dudes that I recently met at the time. Fuck that. Don't change for nobody, dude. Who you are is who you are. That's how where you're at. You know, people are asking you to come teach us because who you are. Not going to be like, well, I want him to be different when he gets here. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I sat there and I pondered it like, oh man, I could be like this. Like, no offense, like, you know, big time. You're like that Champo. You got books and shit, and people are writing about you. You're writing books, and now you're mainstream. You're part of the machine. I don't know. I don't mind teaching there. I love teaching at big stuff, and I love being friends with a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sorry. I ain't going to conform to that, man. Like, I think of, you ever seen that movie 300?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Leonidas. He's like, you know, I got that crack in my, just can't bow down to you, bro. That same shit, bro. I just can't do it, man. Like, that is not, going back to my mom. I think I'd be shitting on my mom. You know, like, I can't do that to her. I can't do it to Anthony Volpe. I can't do it to the Hoffs, the Van Dorps. You name the names, man. Like, people I look up to, the Hojaks, like shit. Like, I'd be shitting on them if I changed. Fuck that, man. Stay true to yourself. As soon as you do that, as soon as you be part of I like to call it the program, you're part of your PC, dude, I'll tell you right now, your credibility, I don't care who you are, I'm going to be like, you changed, bro. There's an individual I taught outside of FDIC, someone I idolized, looked up to. When I taught with him outside of FDIC at another conference, I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. He's such a badass. I can't believe I'm teaching with you. Like, I looked up to you. I read all your books. I love your magazine articles, your videos. You're the best fucking guy in the world. Like, dude, I was total, like, chick into, like, a boy band, dude. I was all over this motherfucker, right? And I go to FDIC to see him again. I go up to shake his hand. Whoa. Like, hey, how's it going? That's how I was treated. I was like, hey, yo, it's Mike. It's me. It's Torres, you know, fucking dicks and, yeah. What the fuck? Totally different person. And that was not just one individual. That was multiple. It's the environment that they're in, whoever they're showing for, whoever they're acting like and doing, shame on them. That's not me. I just can't do that. I'm going to stay the way I am all the time. You can call me whatever you want, but I guarantee it, the information I give you, you'll never forget it. You'll always remember it, and it'll sit true through you all the time. Dude, as soon as I give you my contact information, you know right there. You got a question? I'll fucking, yeah, dude, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about? I don't care. Whatever you want to do. We could talk tomorrow about, I don't know, fucking tree leaves. I don't give a shit. We'll talk. And if you're hurting, you got a problem, dude, I've seen some nasty shit, dude, and I'm not proud of it, but it's another thing that has molded me. If you ask me the question, was it the fire service that changed me, or was the culture did I have to change for the culture? There are some things that I had to do personally because of the devastation that I've seen in the fire service. Loss of my friends, suicide of my friends, families, departments coming, crumbling. Like, that is the only component that I would say is a personal component that I had to interject into who I am now to kind of, I'm like a chameleon, man. I had to change a little bit to my environment, just a little bit, not a ton. My teaching styles and the information I give, definitely not personality wise, because words do matter. I think I haven't heard that expression so many times in the last 2 years that, God, I don't know how many, but words matter, Mike. And I'm like, shit, dude. All right, dude, words matter. Whatever the fuck that means. At the time, I'm like, oh, whatever. Now I get it. So whatever I say, because I look at other instructors that are out there and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's an ego thing. I think it's a personal thing for people. When I sit there and I go, hey, bro, on social media platform, hey, bro, why are you doing that? I think they automatically go into defense, like, fuck him, dude. I'm not going to respond to him like, fuck, he's a loser, and they'll say stupid shit. It's like, bro, I just want to know, like, maybe I'm missing something. Like, maybe you're doing something that I should be teaching because that's good information, right? I'm like, dude, I don't know why you threw that ladder like that, but I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't money morning quarterback shit. Talk to me. Tell me why you did that, because I want to know. Maybe that is a better way. Sean Donovan. Boston captain now. Fuck the fucking captain. Unbelievable. Son of a bitch. Fucking Sean, like, tips in the window. If you told me years ago, well, he did tell me fucking years ago, we put the tips in the window, Mike, just a tip, and I would have been, I did at the time, was like, no way, dude. No way. No, the book of lies tell me, no, I can't do that. No, bad. This is bad. And I'm like, nah, dude. After he explained it, I seen it, I did it real life and in training. I'm like, that shit works. Yeah, I get it. But you have people that are so protected with their information. It's not because I want to pick errors at it. I'm never going to go on social media and go, hey, listen, what this guy told me, fucking idiot, look what he's teaching. I'm not going to say that. I'm not. I'm going to go personally like, hey, look, man, I'm not going to do that shit. But you keep teaching what you teach. There are people out there teaching things that are whatever. I'm not going to argue. There's great groups out there that are teaching good information, but there are some things like, I don't know about that one. Whatever. But we as a fire service are beating each other up. You'll get people fucking bagging people like, man, dude, fuck these, fuck him. He's stupid. What do you learn from these guys? What experience do you have? It's like, dude, I want to do, who was I talking to? Shit. Dave Mullen, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was Dave. Me and Dave were talking like, dude, let's start our first ever nationwide. It's going to be called No Name Conference. Like, no name. What the fuck, Dave? And he goes, dude, we're going to drag up everybody in the fire service. We're going to put it out there to everybody. You want to teach, you want to come up. You're a no-namer. You're a no-namer, right? You don't teach at all these conferences. I'm tired of hearing my voice. Dude, I'm tired of fucking hearing my voice. I like to go on these conferences. I look and I see, I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? And I'm like, I don't know, but I bet you he's got some good fucking information. Carolina Days is coming up. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know Toot's a good friend of mine. I know that fella. Good dude right there. I know Jason. I'm like, good dudes. And then there's some dudes I never heard of. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You know what? These guys probably got some good information. Funny is that they probably taken all our classes, right? And it's like, all right, that's fine, dude. It's cool, but be you. Do you, man. Mm-hmm. Do your thing. Make it your own. My information, if you ask me, hey, Mike, can I get all your PowerPoints to everything you got in ground ladders? 100%. What's your email? I ask some people in the circuit in teaching, they'll be like, no, that's my stuff. Absolutely not. I'm like, who the fuck are you to give that information? Dude, like, nah, dude, that's not yours to own, bro. That's not yours, man. You can give that shit up, dude. That's your job. That in the American Fire Service, we talk about culture and how shit is. That is your duty to give this fucking information to the next guy. If you're not, you're doing it all wrong. Quit. Please quit. Don't be a fireman anymore. Stop. If you think you can cultivate and hold this information to yourself because, yeah, I want to get promoted over you, or I don't want him knowing more than I am. He's a young punk. What does he know? Go fuck yourself. No, dude, come on. I beg you, please call me. Please, I beg you. What do you want to know? I'll give you everything I can. The only thing I can't teach you and give you is my passion, my love of the job, and my experience. I have been fortunate to see all kinds of crazy shit, dude. And I've gone to a decent amount of fires. I'm very proud of it. I can't teach you that. I can only be like, hey, we need to put it into this and you're going to have to try it. And hopefully that day, knock on wood, you try it. It's like, shit, it worked, bro. That got me done. And I get phone calls, text messages, shit on social media. Like, Mike, I did that and it worked. I got this grad. I did this and it saved me. Or Mike, I saved 2 little kids, just like you told me, just to do this. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. That's when I sit there and I sit back in my rocking chair and I go, holy fuck, dude, I'm having an impact. Have I done everything right? Have I told you everything I was supposed to tell you? Because here's the scary part. Did my training or my information fail you? I can tell you right now, 100%, one of my friends, to this day, I live with this, and it's something that hurts inside of like, did I tell him something wrong? Am I my best friend's demise? Is he dead today because I fucked up? Because I did something wrong? Right? Your job as a senior fireman or an officer is lead by example, right? Do as I do. Yeah, right? Do it exactly the way I do it. And if I fail, if I'm not doing the right thing all the time, did I fuck up? Did I kill my friend Corey? It's something I sit there every day. I've had people tell me, no, it's not true. But, if this happened, would this have been different? People say it's a perfect storm, but I like to think that there might have been a chance. There might have been a chance that something else could have transpired that day. If I didn't do something earlier on, would he still be here? I don't know that. That's a lot of what ifs, but I know definitely, because that question came up was, hey, Instructor Torres, Chicago Fire Academy, why are you down here teaching? And I told the story, and I said, this is why, because I don't ever want something bad to come out of my mouth to end up hurting you or killing you or someone else, right? I just don't want that. My soul, the reason why I think I am designed is to save and protect people I don't know. Again, it came from Oath Keepers. It's not a Sandamontial high five. It's not. It's an oath that years ago, when I first took my oath, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to risk my life. And that is the conversation I had with my wife and everyone else of like, hey, that's a long time ago. I had this conversation of like, I could die, right? I could not come back here. And that led into training, why I am, how I train, and how I got to what I'm doing. And, that's all those things changed a little bit of the culture, but I think it naturally did. The fire service did it on their own, and it's still alive and well in a lot of places. It truly is. I was reading an article, a blog, OJ on Facebook about, he visited Engine 98's house and, the water tower, and how much the culture and how the gleam in his eye of the candidate was so proudful to be there and so on and so forth. And you sit back because you're jaded and you're like, fucking Engine 98, Jesus Christ. As long as he's happy. Don't tarnish that kid. Don't ruin him would have been my thing. Let him live with that dream. What's going to happen is that he's going to see other individuals tarnish it and say how this job's just a job, check in. I met a lot of guys. I was ignorant back in the day, really ignorant. I used to go to trainings because I'd be on a busy rig and I jag people off. We come to a big train with all these other houses and we'll do our whatever monthly training with the guys. I go, happy Halloween, everyone. And it's April, right? They're like, dude, what are you fucking happy Halloween? What's going on? I'd be like, look, you're all dressed up like firemen. You want to be firemen. Oh, that's so cute. They're like, dude, you're an asshole. I go, no, dude, I take this fucking job seriously. I don't come in and punch a clock and I don't repeat the same day for 30 years repetitively. I every day want to change. I want to do something different every day. That's why we're here. The firehouse is, I could fuck up today on this fire and then tomorrow or next day, I probably can make it better. I could probably do something better than I did the last day. I just do everything one day at a time, man. Everyone asks, how you doing, Mike? I go, I'm like an alcoholic. I live one day at a time. My dad's a recovering alcoholic and he that's like their oath. It's one day at a time and sit there and I live it just like an alcoholic. One day at a time, every day. I don't think about the next day. My wife's like, what happened? You remember we talked about it 2 days ago? I go, fuck, I don't remember. That wasn't the last day. One day at a time. That's how I successfully do it every day. Every day, I have to like calm down and go, all right, Mike, new day. I wrote down the shit I needed to do the day before. Got it done. Get it done. Scratch it out. Cool. Successful. Done. I feel good. Next day. Let's do it another day. A lot of guys, I give it to them. They have like these goals and visions. I want to be a battalion chief. And I'm like, I want to be a chief of a department. Holy fuck, dude. I can't think till next week. That's too far. That's scary. I don't even know. That's bad. Planning classes, different story, but like, I don't go that crazy. One day at a time. Successful one. Try it out. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I enjoy doing like an alcoholic, one day at a time, man. It's easy that way. And no wonder they're successful. My dad's been successful. He's been clean for 20 plus years. And I'm like, so it worked, huh? It's like, yeah, one day at a time, Michael. Okay. One day at a time.
Brother, I feel like I forgot I'm running the fucking podcast. I'm sitting up here.
God. I'm sorry, dude.
I feel like I need a fucking thing of popcorn. Just like, man, keep preaching, please. Oh my God. Yeah. I have like 10 notes from just that one little rant you had right now.
Bro, I like, I don't like talking about myself, but when we get going and just talk about just the fire culture, the life of being a fireman, I like talking about it. It's fun. It gets me going because, guys ask those questions. They ask questions like, oh man, the best one, or not the best one of the good ones. And I still struggle with it today, but I'll give people's honest assessments of it. It's like, oh man, I want to be just like you. I want to teach all over the place. You know, recently I was told that, by, someone that, this is fucking crazy. And it just kind of broke my heart just a little bit, was, the reason why we didn't call Mike Torres to teach at this conference or a conference was we don't feel like he has the caliber to teach with other instructors. And, you know, at first I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, cool. That kind of broke my heart a little bit. I'm like, damn, I don't have the caliber? Oh, shit. You know, I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool. I just won't teach with you. That's no problem. The reason why, you know, another guy asked me is like, how come you're not in like all these places and you're not teaching at all these joints and you're not at Carolina Day, you're not at this place, you're not down in Florida, you're not down here. I think when I first started doing this, I got started teaching, holy shit, fuck. I would say you get into the circuit 15 years ago. I think something like that. Arthur Ashley, Captain Arthur Ashley from Lexington, Kentucky. He's retired now. I was just talking to him a couple of weeks ago. We talk pretty frequently, especially now he's retired. He's got nothing going on, so he likes to talk. So I love him. But anyways, I signed up for a class in Ozark. Ozark Mountain Falls, I think the name of it, in Missouri, in Nixa. They held the class in Branson, Missouri. And he goes, the deputy chief calls me up. Oh my God, my brain is not working. Adam Nerf. Jesus Christ. Adam calls me up and he goes, hey, Captain Ashley lost his senior man. He can't come out and teach. I see that you're coming to our conference all the way from Chicago. And, would you be interested in helping assist teach? And I said, I'm getting a haircut. Fuck, dude's lining me up. At the time I had nice hair, bro. I don't have any hair anymore. I'm bald as shit. But, I'm gonna get my haircut. My barber's like looking at me and I'm like, yeah, I've never taught before. I've never done anything like on a scale like that. And it wasn't even that big of a scale. It was a small fools hot class, a weekend. Okay. I was like, yeah, sure. What am I teaching? He's like, have you ever heard of Captain Ashley? And at the time, I'm like, what the fuck is this dude? Like, I don't know. I'm in my bubble, right? CFD and the suburbs surrounding it. I don't know anything else. I don't even know there's other states. I have no idea what's going on. And, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, yeah, whatever. I'm a Southside fool at the time. And I'm like, yeah, fools got to be cool. That sounds like a chapter out there. It's got to be normal. It's got to be the same shit. So I go out there and I meet Captain Ashley at dinner. When I drove in, they're all at a bar. We're talking. Hey, I'm Captain Ashley, Art Ashley. And I said, hey, Cap, how are you, sir? And hey, man, we're going to do a few things. Talks about some truck stuff and we'll go to town. Just talk how you talk. I go, okay. And that's where it started, man. Right after that was FDIC. He's like, hey, Mikey, you want to come to FDIC? I'm teaching. And I go, yeah, sure. Like, okay. I was introduced to everybody. Dude, Champos, the big dogs like Bobby Hall, like everybody. This motherfucker said everybody. But it was real funny. He did teach me something. I do this all the time now. Every fucking 2 minutes. We couldn't get it down half the fucking hallway because he would stop and go, Captain Ashley, can we talk to you? He would stop and talk to you. He would take that 5 minutes. Hey, man, how are you? That's what he'd say. Hey, how are you? And I'm like, hey, Cap, I call him Art. Hey, Art, what's up, man? Mikey, you take the time out to talk to them. You take the time, you talk to them, you express your feelings, you talk to them. You see how they're doing. You never know, Mike. You never know. And I go, all right, whatever. And I took that and I said, hell yeah, you take that time and you talk to these people, you know, for whatever reason they look up to you. I don't know why anybody looks up to me. I don't even know when my kids look up to me, but like you give them something. If it's just the 5 minutes and you talk to them about some fire related, they want to talk to you, they want to express something to you, you do that for them because that means something then. Because that time when I was that person and that person made time for me, the Ray Hoffs, the Hojaks, the Volpes, you name it, the people that I stopped and they wanted to listen to me just to ask a question, they genuinely were engaged and answered the question as the best of their ability. I felt like I was the king of the fucking world. I felt like I was Caesar and I was running Rome. I was like, wow, he took a time out to just talk to me. Not to sign a book, not to live his notoriety. They took the time to listen to me. And I take that as an instructor now. It's crazy. Somebody would say, one person is a leader or something in the fire service is crazy. If you were to tell me that, I'd be like, you're nuts. I'll never make it there, bro. I'll never be at that level, man. That's crazy. And now that we sit there and we look and people are asking us for shit, I'm looking to sit there and pass off that torch. I'm going to spike this motherfucker, light that thing up and go, dude, please go run. Please do the best. The guys are killing it right now are my boys at Oath Keepers, my boys in West Virginia, Richie Goebel, Toothless, all these motherfuckers, dude. These guys, the guys in the Oath Keepers are doing that, especially the boys in West Virginia. They take the information I give them and they have created an animal of truck work. I'm like, dude, these are the guys. Hell yeah, dude. I'm going to live vicariously through you. Teach, preach the word, preach the word. That's awesome. I love it. Go with the truck lords. Do your thing. And they're doing it. They have changed things up, but man, they're doing it. They have taken the foundation or whatever bullshit I gave them that worked and they're like implementing it and it's working and they continuously spread that love. And as an instructor, holy shit, man, that feels good. To see something that you've done and somebody is doing it now and they're mainstreaming that shit. I don't even give a shit if they say where they got it from. I'm like, all right, there's only one place you learn that shit from. And I sit back and I smile. I sit in my I go, I did that. And that's cool. That's good enough for me, man. I don't need books. I don't need magazine articles. I don't need any of that shit. To know that I somehow affected the fire service on a small wavelength of tying my halyard. If it's just that, I'm cool with that. I'm good, man. I'm good with that. Like I can die today going, I did something. May not be big. It may not be a couple books and same old bullshit and signing autographs and shit like that. It may not be that. I touched somebody. I touched somebody somewhere. It's probably PC, but I did something good.
I tell you, I have halyard written down on my notes because the way you teach it, I'm not giving anything away. But man, if anybody listening to this, if they but I'm saying if they can take one of your ground ladders classes or whenever you're teaching, hopefully they can benefit from the way you teach tying a halyard because man, it's one of a kind. It's very unique and it's hard to forget. Even if you try to forget it, you can't forget it.
Dude, when I'm teaching like shit, if I'm doing like right now extrication, I love extrication. I love doing that shit. Isaac Fraser taught me this years ago. It's his. Anybody can practice it, say it, whatever they want to call it. I don't give a shit. But the no cut dash relief, where you cut nothing of that A column, A post whatsoever, and you just remove that dash, that is Isaac Fraser. 100%. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't give a shit. It is a lie. That is the individual who created it. And I will die on that hill. And when he was saying that, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, holy shit, dude, this man, not knowingly, doesn't take credit for it, but he's changed the game, right? Like when people say like the no cut dash relief, I'm like, the Fraser? I just said the Fraser. The Fraser? Like the boxer? No, man, not the boxer. He looks like he fucking box, but but
he's a
like, yeah, dude, he's a beast now, bro. And I look at it and I'm like, damn, dude, like that simple thing that he did changed everything, right? And, people make fun of me about my halyard and some other shit, like crazy stuff that I do. It's like, look, man, it just makes it work better for me. You guys do whatever you want to do in the fire service. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But, it's shit like that. It's like, shit. People are teaching stuff and I'm like, hey, I know the guy that started this. That's who started it, doing all the shit with Amcus. I'm like, you know who did that? Like, that's an Isaac, man. I don't know where you guys got that shit from, but that's who made that shit. I'm going to let everybody know that just so you know. But I think that's, as an instructor, as somebody that wants to teach and pass it on, is that a small part right there is like to have whatever your name put into it last longer than your name in general. The test of time is huge. And man, if it was just a small thing that I did, like, holy cow, if I change your life somehow, some way, just on a personal level, that'll make me happy too. That's going to make me real happy. And, but I tell people now, man, if you want to be an instructor in the game, you want to be in this, go to all these conferences, do it now when you don't have a wife, you don't have kids. I wouldn't say at your pinnacle. I would say put your time in. I didn't start off just teaching right away. Like I followed people. I was like, I would carry your shit to, I would wipe your ass. I'd put powder on your balls and shit. Like, dude, I'm your guy. Like, that's what I do. I'm a runner. Like, dude, you got to know your place. Like, not everybody just pops up. I did my time, and you're going to have to do your time, and it's okay. It's not a big deal, but that's what I'm doing now is like, guys, I would bring guys to Black Forest. I take them to teach in Texas and all these places like, hey, Cap, I don't know if like I can do this. I go, you can, you will, you're going to. There's no exceptions here, bro. Take the information I've given you, start to hone in your thing. And I sit there and I watch. It's like watching your kids grow up. They're turning into their own animal. They're like, yeah, I like how you did that, bro. That was good, man. What'd you do? What'd you learn that? He's like, I just did something different. I go, that was good. I like that. That's cool, man. Stick with that shit. I like that stuff, dude. That was good. I like what you're doing there. So, I mean, I think if you're going to do it, earn the role, learn the role. Like, you're going to be a runner. You're going to be a low man on the totem pole. You're not going to start off big and do big things. Just go with the flow. Guys like me, there are many of us out there like us, like me, is we want to pass that on. We want to give it up. We don't want to be doing this forever. And I don't want my information to die with me. I don't want it to, you remember that one guy teaching that one thing at one time at that one place? I don't want that, man. I want you to, I learned from so-and-so, and I've learned from many people, and I say that. I say, hey, I learned this skill, this mentorship, this way I do things are from people in my past. And that's how I live. Their memory goes on. That's how they are going to go on, is by me saying, I learned it from that person, and that person learned from that person, and so on and so forth. So that's my thing I want to give back to the fire services.
I love that too. And one thing that needs to be, I think, addressed is that it's not coming from an ego standpoint, right? Where you say like, you want your name to last longer than your time in the fire service, right? That's not necessarily coming from an ego thing. I think it's an ode to the mentors that came before you, right? Because what you're passing on is developed and molded your way, but based on what people taught you. So you're just kind of passing the torch, and you're just continuing a legacy, right? I think that's one thing that needs to be addressed, because people are like, oh, I'm humble. I'm not egotistical. So I don't want people to say, oh, I want Mike Torres or Preston Lyon's name attached to this forever. And if someone tries to steal it, then I'm going to fucking call him out because, hey, I invented that. No, I'm guarantee you, if Isaac Frazier hears this shit, he's going to call you and be like, what the fuck, bro?
I'm sure he's going to. And that's okay. I mean?
Yeah. But, and another thing, and I would feel guilty if I didn't mention this, but I'm sure people listening to this, they've already said it to themselves in their head, but your authenticity, having authenticity in the fire service defines who you are. And like you were saying before, don't let the big machine of the fire service and the circuit and the corporate white collar, white helmetness change who you are, because people resonate with you, whether you think you're doing shit differently, doing it wrong, doing it how this guy's not doing it, and you think you need to change so you can resonate with more people. Well, now you're not being yourself, and now you're being fake to
Mainstream.
Yeah, right. Like, I think that's something that's extremely rare. And like, take the instructor aspect out of it. In the firehouse, when I started, when you first get online, you kind of got to keep your mouth shut. You got to play the game. You got to get pranked, right? All this shit. Like, you kind of suppress who you are a little bit, but let that shit come out. Like, don't hide who you are. And I think we run into that with the PC and the politics. You voted for this guy. I voted for this guy. Fuck, who the fuck cares, man? Like, be yourself. If I like you, I like you. If I fucking hate you, I hate you. But you know what? It's all right, because we're fucking family and we can agree to disagree. But man, authenticity, and you come with all the authenticity for sure. And I know you're never going to change. And I'm glad you stay the fucking way you are, man. I love it.
I don't claim to be anything I'm not. I don't want to be. I do love where I'm at. I'm not going to, again, I am humble, but there's an ego in everybody. I have a little bit of an ego. If you don't, you're lying to me. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no way you don't have a touch of it. It's just how you use it, right? How to be humble, how you use your honor, how you use any of your characteristics that make you who you or anyone else is. my ego is my ego. It is what it is. Like, I get embarrassed, to be honest with you. I'm a very embarrassed person when people even talk anything about me. It drives me crazy. Like, not in a bad way. I'm not mad at you or anything like that. It's like, holy shit. But I do have to sit there and think about it when somebody does talk about you. You're like, holy fuck, dude, I did that. Fuck, dude, I forgot half the shit I've done in my life. And it's just only a short life. I'm only 41 years old. And I'm like, I did go there, or, I was on the phone with a fireman. My last year at CFD, I was detailed to a slower house, and an individual, he's a lieutenant, and I'm sitting at the desk. He's sitting at the computer doing the journal. I'm reading the journal, doing my shit, and he's doing his shit. And we're sitting there. And he goes, "Hey, Mark, you remember that time you saved my life on that roof with the pike pole?" And I go, "No, bro. What are you talking about? Like, I don't remember shit." He goes, "Mike, come on, man. You remember?" I said, "Shit, dude, no." And he tells the whole story. He's telling in front of everybody. I'm like, dude, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, dude, stop telling stories. Wrong guy. Yeah, no, I remember vaguely, but I just, I think I was like, dude, just fucking grab this, bro. You're going to fall. I didn't think anything of it. Let's get back to fucking work. We got to open a hole. I don't think of it that way. And when people talk to me like that, it's like, oh God, but it's a lie. Anyone that says, "Oh, I have no ego, I'm humble." Yeah, you are. It's just how you use it, man. I have an ego, but that's what I think my ego drives me to not let anyone, not me to disappoint anyone. I don't want to say fail, because I fail. I fail a lot. I continuously fail. I'll fail all the time. I fail as an instructor. I fail as a fireman. I fail as an officer. I fail as a leader. I fail as a father. I fail as a husband. I do fail. I'm fucking human. There's no way you're telling me, I do look at people. I'm like, dude, does this guy ever fuck up? And when you get heart to heart with some people, like, dude, I am a complete fuck up, dude. And I'm like, all right, you're not God. Good. You are human. And you use some of that stuff. The ego that is there, you use it. It's like my, what do you call it? It's kind of like one time a psychologist told me one thing. What did he say? My defense mechanism. Ooh, stupid. It took that long to think about it. It's like, it's your defense mechanism. Your anger, your ego allows you not to fail. It's your defense mechanism. So if you think something's happening, your ego steps in and goes, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I got this, Mike. Don't worry. I'll keep you afloat because you're struggling." That's all I kind of use it for. It's just my defense mechanism. When something's failing, I got to feel like I'm in the down. I'm in the dumps. I'm having a hard time. I go, "Ego, stick up. Get up. Wake up. Hey." I'm like in his bed. I'm like, "Dude, wake up, bro. We got a call. I need your help right now, dude. I'm having a fucking tough day. I need you to tell me I did a good job. I need you to tell me that I'm okay. I did this." I have to wake him up, man. So yeah, dude, everyone has a fucking ego. It's how you use it. I don't use it to be fucking big dick. I don't use it to be like, "Hey, bro, you know who the fuck I am?" I don't do that. That's not who I am. But I do use it internally as a person to go, "Mike, you're struggling today, bro. You're having a hard day. Your anxiety's fucked. You're thinking of some shit. You're struggling, bro. Go wake him up. He's in the bed. He's Mr. Fireman pick and choose. He pick and choose what calls he wants to go on. He needs to pick this one. He needs to get your ass. He needs to pick you back up. He needs to remind you that you're who you are and you're okay. You did a good job, man. You're doing it. You're on a fucking podcast with you. You're doing it, man. You got friends that are calling you, asking you for advice. You did it. You're doing a good job." That's what the ego is. Not the ego you think it, what people use it for. People use that ego as a wrong, look who I am, look where I'm at. You're not taking my class? You're not in this? You didn't go to this class? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on, dude. Just because I don't got all those fucking cool slogans and shit, and I don't got the Instagram with all the cool fucking swagger and all this other nonsense, like, I just don't. I'm just not like that, man. I don't know. It just wasn't designed that way. My ego, I use it for good. And that's only my good because I need to sometimes pick me up from time to time.
No, I like it, man. When you talk about your ego and how you're using it for good and you use it kind of like to pick you back up, I kind of think of like MMA fighters, right? Like an MMA fighter, if he's humble and he's giving credit to the guy that he's facing across from the octagon, he's going to get knocked the fuck out, right? He's got to hype himself up when he walks into that ring, but like, nobody's going to beat me today. I'm the shit. Right. I'm the man. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go to fucking war, and that's using it for good.
Yep.
right? Like Mike Tyson was that way, right? Talking about getting prepared for a fight. He's like afraid. He's terrified. He's scared. Like, is this man going to fucking kill me? But then the closer he walks to the ring, and as soon as he steps in that ring, he's like, I'm invincible. I'm all powerful. Nothing can hurt me. You know, it's like, bro, it's like you said, using it for good, using it for positive, using it to keep you on that path to keep pushing. Because if you don't have a little bit of ego, you're just going to get fucking walked over.
My first class of the largest group that I taught in front of at one time, like one group, was the work conference in Austin, Texas for the fools. And they call it the work conference. And Sammy Hiddle and them are there. And I was following Jeff Shoup. I think Jeff Shoup gave his presentation before me, and then Sammy Hiddle was after me. I was in between. So I'm like, I'm already fucking nervous. I got to follow him. And then he comes after me. I'm like, dude, what are you setting me up for failure? Come on. You know, I was already upset. I was like scared out of my mind. I went to the hallway. I called two mentors, people I look up to, Rick Colomay, ex-chief of Carroll Stream, and Jason Demas, who was the chief deputy or something. He's a big dog in Aurora, where they were just after the firemanship conference. I taught with Demas. Jason is hardcore. He's a whole nother subject. We can have a podcast just on him because how much I look up to him. But anyways, he goes, Michael, relax. I go, I'm trying, Jay. This ain't working. And he goes, they don't know what you don't know. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. They don't know what I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to sound like, you know, like a scam artist or a salesman, but
yeah,
that mindset, I was like, okay, they don't know if I don't know it, but I'm an honest guy. I'll be like, I don't fucking know, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I'll tell you straight out, but just knowing that comment, I was like, he's like, Mike, just think you're back up Romeoville with us and you're teaching with just an advanced firefighter course, or you're teaching an instructor course, instructor one or management one or leadership. You're doing your officer thing, and just think you're back home. And sure as shit, I kicked all the chairs over. I said, everyone get in, make a circle around me. We're not going to get behind a podium. Sit down. Sit down like Indian style or crisscross applesauce, fucking with them, And I got them all gathered up. John Brimley just came by and taught at Black Forest. He did a class for us. Awesome dude. Love him. And he's like, you guys know who this guy is? He's pointing at me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, dude? This is your time. Like, no. And he goes, I met him at the work conference. He pushed everybody away. He did this. We were fucking blown away. Everyone was like, oh, shit. I said my opening statement was pretty bad in a good way. It was, I don't know, maybe one day we could talk about what that comment was, but Sammy Hiddle's like, this is the guy. He's like, holy shit. Jeff Shoup was like, holy fuck. And I think I needed that ego right then and there. Jason gave it to me. And from that moment on, I used my ego just for that good of like, dude, let's go, bro. Now I put my headphones in. I did Into the Job for Isaac. I was like, dude, I thought I picked a good day. Like, everyone's going to be drunk and nobody's going to show up the next day. So I'm like, give me Saturday last day. There ain't going to be nobody here. It's fucking great. This is going to be awesome. No. They knew what day I was teaching. That was the biggest portion of the crowd there. Isaac's like, hey, just so you know, there's 1,000 plus. And I'm like, 1,000? What are you talking about? Like, tickets you sold, they're not going to be here? Like, what do you mean 1,000 plus? And he goes, Mike, there's 1,000 plus people here. And I look and I'm like, shit, dude. Fuck, all right, dude. Put my AirPods on. I turn on my house music and I'm fucking pacing, dude. I'm drinking my coffee, my water, talking to myself. I'm like, all right, dude, I got to hit this. I got to hit that. Dude, Mr. Eagle came out right then and there. I had to. Teach at FDIC. Fucking Eagle's coming out. Like, that motherfucker is coming out. I can't swear as much at FDIC, but I have a whole nother presenting Mike Torres when I have to do ones like that. Like, I gotta be kind and nice. I know it's recorded and shit, so I'm cool. But that ego, anybody that uses it for bad is shame on them. And they're out there. You could see it. It's all over their face. You see them, they're doing it, and it's just blatantly obvious. And there's other people that want to be known so much, they're trying, I'll never be that guy to put up so much content and videos. I don't even have the fucking time. Like when I do AMCIS stuff, I love putting stuff because I love AMCIS. I love teaching for AMCIS and so on and so forth. I got to make the time to do that because I feel good about it. It's pretty cool. I'm real happy about it and I feel awesome and honored to do it. Or if I'm teaching a class somewhere, like I'm going to, it's been years. They've been asking and asking. I haven't been blowing them off. I've just been so busy. The boys down in Texas, Georgetown, I'm giving them a truck class just for them next 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. And I got 8 solid motherfuckers teaching with me. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Kevin Lewis, my deputies come with me, Chief Pippenberg. I got 3 guys from Austin, my best friend Mike Heaney, Nick, Kristen from Parker County. Dude, it's going to be awesome, right? It's going to be a phenomenal thing. And it's so awesome. They're like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm not getting paid. Like, I'm going to give you guys money. Like, this is the money that I'm making is to make you there. Like, you don't have to pay me. I'm like, get the fuck. No, dude, I'm going to pay you for your time. Everything else, I'm going to treat you like kings because you guys are doing the right thing in the fire service. This is what we do. And this is what I'm going to do in return. There's other people that are in business. They treat this fire service teaching industry as a business. And I don't know. I don't know if I can do that, man. I don't know. Leonidas, I just can't bend down, bro. I got this creak in my knee, man. I just can't do it. I got integrity, man. And Pat Kelly, a guy I taught him in the academy, Pat Kelly taught me a lot about integrity. And he's a good kid. And I think my integrity is just doing the right thing when nobody's looking and having that moral courage to do the right thing, even when it's easier to do the wrong thing, is just something I just can't let go. I just can't. I cannot not do the right thing. I don't know any other way. I think I'd be shit on everybody I've ever been in contact with.
Yeah, I can tell, man. It's very obvious that you got a big fucking heart for not just the fire service, but just you as a person. You put a lot of heart into everything you do. I mean, I've only had a couple encounters with you, but it's powerful, man. And look, we had a couple more topics we wanted to talk about, but we're gonna have to do I'm gonna have to come down. I'm gonna have to come down when you get back in town. We're gonna have to do a live, just face to face conversation, okay, bro, and hit the other stuff because we wanted to, bro. I want to talk about eventually. I want to talk about your weight loss journey and your family and all this other shit, but. Man, I can feel like we're gonna throw another hour on at that point. So this is gonna be part one. This is gonna be part one of the conversation, brother. Right. As we land the plane, dude. Do you have any final thoughts? And then also, how can people get a hold of you?
Because I don't know how to do it on social media to change my name to Michael Torres, but I'm on all the platforms, and it's just Bull Mike is who I am. You guys, if you send me a message that way. And you can put my phone number up. I don't care. I really don't. Just text me saying, hey, I am Joe Blow from wherever I'm from. I saw this. I just want to say hi and make contact. Good enough for me. I'm not like, just don't use my number for solicitation shit. You know what I mean? But right. If you need to talk to me, you want to talk to me about something that you think is off, probably not, man. I've seen some weird shit. So yeah, just give me a ring, dude. I'm totally cool, man. I put my pants on just like you, just like everyone else, man. It goes on the same way. Male or female, it don't matter. Just a little bit tighter in some places, but, other than that, I'm just like you. I'm nowhere different. You know what? I was thinking about this though. Maybe if you got time, I got to do a few other classes. Can you bring this with you or this is your studio thing?
Yeah. I got wireless mics with like little puff balls on it for wind blockage and all that stuff. Oh. And I got, I bring the laptop with the 4K camera, all kinds of shit, man. So yeah, we'll be all right.
I'm thinking, man, dude, I mean, I know it's soon, but like hypothetically we could talk. If you want to, if you can, I will get you out there. I'll pay whatever I need to do to get you out there. Maybe like one of these classes that I'm doing with all these guys, set it up. We're all chilling out, smoking cigars in the back of the Airbnb, and you do another podcast right then and there. I mean, bro. To get someone like Kevin Lewis, the deputy, Chris Pippenberg, all the guys from Austin, you get them all in a room alone, or not a room, but just out in our atmosphere, sitting around a fire in a hot tub, chilling. That conversation is different, man.
Oh yeah.
I think Arthur put up a good post. I forgot what it was. Something about Warriors. Shit. When you're sitting around in Warriors, the conversation is different. And when you're sitting around, I like to not say so much Warriors, but you're sitting around the bros, the firemen, real firemen, the 1%ers, that conversation is different. We have different conversations because we know what we're looking for. And you'll be surprised what kind of conversation. That'd be a pretty cool podcast for you to do, bro.
Well, you let me know, bro, because I got shit waiting in the Amazon cart that I've been trying to convince my wife that I need. So
always need it, bro. You always need that stuff.
Yeah, but we got to lock something in. And I'll be like, hey, I fucking need this, and that. It's going to cost me like $800. But
okay, all right. I can do that.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. All right, brother. Well, hey, look.
All right.
For everybody that's listening, we're going to wrap it up here. Stay tuned for part 2. We're making it happen right here, fucking live. So if you found value in this, please share it. Please share it with like-minded individuals. And I know you found value in it. But hey, this is just firemen shooting the shit, telling our stories, trying to make an impact. Like Bull Mike said, Captain Mike Torres. He said, man, he's one of a kind. So please, and I told you before we started, like, fuck, man, I've only found 2 other episodes with you on. You might have had more, but I was trying to do some research just to like make sure not to repeat topics. But
we did a lot with engine house training. My boys from St. Louis, Jeff, Jarrett, Tim. We did a lot with engine house training, but it wasn't like this. We were very not technological savvy. So it was just recorded, and we just recorded it. So it'd be a recorded live, and it was like Apple, iTunes, and all that stuff. So we did a lot of those. I did one with OJ on Fire Engineer Magazine, 1 or 2 of those, but it was all not like video. This is only my 2nd or 3rd video one I've done like this. And all the others were just like recorded on a phone, or we're just talking, and I'm walking back and forth in my living room. Fucking, I don't get why I don't throw the ladders like that. Like, dude, just losing my shit. And the kids were young, looking at me like, what the hell's this problem,
Hey, but you know what you just did, bro? You referenced your kids watching you fucking scream about ladders as the same as you watching your dad and your boy them sitting around the kitchen table when you were a kid.
That's true,
bro.
This is true.
Dude, you're making.
So I wish. I think only my daughter is going to be a fireman, which is crazy. So,
oh man,
all the other ones don't want nothing to do with it.
I'd love to see some legacy firefighters out there for sure. Well, all right, brother, dude, thank you so much. That's going to be a wrap. Man. We're going to continue this offline, but for everybody else, episode 19 in the books. Share the episode. Catch you next time.
Later.